Hi, I'm Andy Ellis. I'm the host of this show and a potential Green Party candidate for governor of Maryland in 2026. I'm using this show to highlight interesting people and ideas that help me and you to understand what is happening and what is possible. You can learn more about the campaign by going to gogreen2026.com. Guests on this show do not necessarily support my campaign or the Green Party. They've agreed to come on to discuss ideas and issues. And of course, click the subscribe button on YouTube so you can keep up to date with this podcast.
Green Party has a reputation, maybe earned, maybe not, of being more progressive even than the Democratic Party. But you've been talking earlier about reaching other people. What message do you have for conservative voters in Maryland?
Yeah, so I think there's some very important things that we're going to agree with conservative voters on, but there might be some things that we disagree on as well. But I think a couple of things that I want to highlight that I think we agree on. I think we agree on the need for direct democracy. Maryland is a state that doesn't have the ability to have statewide referendum, and a lot of states do have that. A lot of states allow people to be able to sign petitions and get something on the ballot as a constitutional amendment. We don't have that in Maryland, which means that all of our constitutional amendments have to go through the Democratic General Assembly and the governor. And I think conservatives and Greens and more progressive folks agree that that's a mechanism that we should have more access to. I think another thing is a lot of the Democratic Party's approach to balancing the budget is often to increase user fees, to increase registration fees, and to increase some of those type of things that get passed on, really regressive revenue generation strategies. And I think we agree with a lot of conservatives that those regressive revenue generation strategies are not good and that they should be ended. Now, we may disagree about what the right strategy is, but I think we're going to agree that the user fees are wrong. I think we would also say that there need to be less giveaways to big corporations and developers. I think that both parties in a lot of places really appreciate the giveaways to big corporations and developers. But in Maryland, that's mostly a thing that the Democrats do and champion. And I think that there's a lot of conservatives who think that their tax dollars should not be going to a corporation like Marriott that's going to end up laying off a bunch of people with those tax breaks. I would also say that I think we agree that there needs to be more investment in small businesses, and especially in some of our smaller towns and rural communities. Those small businesses are the heart of a functioning community, and we need to make sure that there's investments in those folks instead of just investing in the big corporations that are trying to gobble up land and real estate and all of that. And finally, I think we agree that there need to be transparency with state dollars. We may not agree on how the state dollars get spent, but I think we both often object to the opaque budgets that Maryland has that, don't make it so that it's easy to figure out what's happening or to hold people accountable for that. Now, look, we're going to disagree on a lot of things too, but a multi-party democracy like we're talking about is much better for folks who are on the outside, who are minorities in the political sense. It increases the incentive for compromise and increases the incentive for collaboration. And I think that would be not bad for conservatives in Maryland to have somebody to compromise with and to coalesce with around certain things of agreement, as opposed to the current situation where they only get is whatever the Democrats want to give them. Now, I say that to say we're also going to have some things we disagree about. We're going to disagree about some justice issues, some social justice issues. We're going to disagree about who should be taxed and how we should spend that. But those debates are okay to have. And I'm not afraid to have those discussions and debates with conservative folks or with liberal folks.